So we just moved back to America after about 7 years in Europe, and we're having some major reverse culture shocks. So here we go. For some context, we lived in small town Germany for about 3 years, and then small town Italy for 3 years as well. And I know my hand is orange, by the way. I forgot to wash after self tanning. This is shocking to say because we're both from the Midwest, but it took us years to stop asking people how you are every time you see them. Hey, how are you? At the gas station, at the store, whatever. Because you don't typically do that, especially in Germany, unless you know someone. And now that we're back here and everyone is, hey, how are you? How's your day? I stop and I'm like, how am I? And I don't have a response. I'm not ready for it. It's not fluid anymore. And it's hard to get used to. And I can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah, it's certainly weird. I know this is obvious because we lived in very affordable places, but we moved from Indiana to small town Germany to small town Italy to Washington, D.C. area. So the price of wine and coffee, the bar we lived above in Sicile, our last town, wine was 150 per glass, and now that we're here, you walk around and the happy hour price for a glass of wine, you'll see $10 happy hour wine, and I'm like, oh my god. Shocking. While we're on the topic of alcohol, the size of shots here, like if you order a shot of tequila, it feels huge. I remember when we first moved to Germany, we had ordered 2 shots, and they gave us like a teaspoon amount of tequila. And now that we're here, when we first got here, we went out and we ordered tequila shots, and I had never been so accidentally drunk in my entire life. Being carded also is so weird, especially because in Europe, like I've bartended in Europe, and I didn't even have to ask 16-year-olds for their ID, you know? So it's weird to think about bringing your ID out and people asking for it, and not seeing children in the bars anymore, which is nice. It was always weird to see kids at the bar, but yeah, definitely strange. Refills. I remember when we first moved and we had ordered a Coke at dinner, and then they give you a can, and then you ask for another one and they give you another can, and they charge you for each can or bottle or whatever you get. And now being here, I can't really fathom needing 2 Cokes at dinner or 3 Cokes or 4, you know. I remember being younger and getting like 6 cherry Cokes with dinner. But now it's like I have my one and I'm like, okay, I don't need a refill. Thanks. The speed of restaurant service here. It feels so fast coming from Europe. I remember when we first got there and we would sit at a table and like you'd be sitting for like half an hour before anyone even acknowledged that you were there, or, you know, brought you a menu or brought you drinks. And it was shocking, you know, because in America you're trained to turn tables, get in and out, be able to get in a restaurant on your lunch break. I used to bartend in Germany, and I had bartended and served in the States for years. And I remember serving these German guys, and they had, you know, a quarter of a beer left. I was like, oh, would you like another beer? And they were like, no. And I was like, or no, not yet. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll be back. And, you know, they sat there for hours and their beer's warm, and they finished their beer. And I came back and I was like, would you like another beer? And they're like, not yet. And they're like clearly irritated by me. And I was like, what's the deal? And I realized that the service style in Europe is just so slow and relaxed, and people go to a restaurant to enjoy their time, and they don't like to be harassed. So now coming back to the States, like I don't feel harassed or bothered by it, but I definitely notice that it's like fast, fast, fast. Like, here's your drink, here's your order, here's your appetizer. All right, see you. Checks there before you even finish your food. So it's hard to get used to the flip side of that, but it was so much harder, I think, to get used to the slow service. The speed limits and the highways, it just feels like you are crawling here. Germany has the Autobahn, and Italy, no one gives a shit about the speed limit, so it's kind of a free-for-all. Like coming here and hitting a 55-mile-per-hour speed limit on the highway is is shocking. It is a culture shock. It just, yeah, it feels so slow. Okay, and last one for now, is not needing cash everywhere. Like at least in small town Italy and Germany, in cities too, you know, you need cash. Like if you buy a coffee or a water bottle or something is under €2 or €3, they don't want to run their card. But it's actually so opposite here. There are so many places that don't even accept cash anymore. So I don't think we've had an American dollar out of the ATM actually since we've been here, but we still have euros left over because we had to have them everywhere. Let me know if I should make a part 2 because there are so many. I feel like America has changed so much in the 7 years that we were gone, but also we have too. So it's fascinating, and I want to talk about it before everything becomes normal again.